and welcome to the FireSide chat on this, the 14th of June 2015. Now, you may see that I am sitting in my shirt sleeves. This is because although it is 1 week from the winter solstice, it is a balmy, I'm guessing sort of 20-ish degrees Celsius. I think that's about 68 degrees Fahrenheit. So wherever you are in the world, we're sitting in midwinter here in Africa. It's very tough, as you can see. Life is hard for us here, and I hope that wherever you are, you're having a marvelous time. This evening we have a few fascinating things to discuss, especially to do with the leopards, Tingana and Mvula, which created some discussion during the course of the week. We're going to have a look at highlights that Brent and I had. We'll discuss the recalcitrance of Wendy, our vehicle, which necessitated you having to stare into the faces of both Brent and I for extended periods, and we're very sorry for that because it can't have been easy for you during that time. Brent is on his way here, going to join me shortly. In fact, I can hear the noise of his car as he approaches. But perhaps we could start off by having a chat quickly about Tingana and Mvula, the two male leopards that seem to make up the bulk of our male leopard viewing in this area. And I would just like to say one thing before we get into the discussion. And it's an interesting thing that I've noticed over the years of guiding. Normally, when you see a male cat, be it a lion or a leopard, everybody's immediate reaction is, oh, look how big he is, regardless of whether they've never seen a male cat before. So even if it's a big male lion or a small male lion, if it's their first one, they'll always say, that looks like a big male lion, or that looks like a big male leopard. They never say the same thing when they see a female. So if they see a female leopard for the first time, often what they'll say is, wow, look at that beautiful female leopard, as opposed to, gee, look at this, look at the size of that female leopard. Nobody ever says that unless they are fairly experienced in seeing them. So it was with some interest that we sort of got to the discussion of the size of Mvula and the size of Tingana during the course of the last week. And we're just going to show you a little clip now that shows you the two leopards. We're very lucky to see them both during the course of the week. We had a good time with the Mvula. I think it was on Thursday morning, and then on Friday morning we had the wonder of Tingana. Sorry, it was the other way. It was Friday and Saturday that we had the two leopards. So we're going to show you a clip just now, in fact immediately, and let's just have a look at those two leopards, and then I want to go through a couple of things that I think are fairly pertinent, especially as a newbie coming into this area. Enjoy the clip. So initially, of course, you're looking at Mvula there. You can see the one thing I want you to, sorry, you're looking at Tingana first, I think. What I want you to notice while you're looking at him is the dewlap underneath his skin, at least underneath his jaw. And when you look at Mvula after that, notice that he does not have that sort of very pronounced flap of skin underneath the bottom jaw. Magnificent though they both undoubtedly are. And you can see him just scent marking there, standing up, making himself as tall as possible and rubbing himself on as much of that bush as he can so that his scent remains for as long as possible. And then obviously that territorial calling, which he's doing a lot of at the moment, probably as Tingana starts to threaten his territory a bit. Okay, so thanks for that. We're just going to welcome Brent into the circle. He's obviously late. That's just how Brent is, really. Hello, Brent. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Have a seat at my fire.
Thank you. Oh, you did quite a good job.
Yes, thank you.
But did you get Phil to make it?
No, I did it myself.
Oh, okay, just
yes.
checking. Oh, you don't fall off.
Yes,
now.
you notice I put Brent on the lower side of the log so that I can look slightly taller than him.
It makes him feel better.
Brent, what we are discussing is the size of male leopards, and we've just seen the clip of Tingana and Mvula.
Uh-huh.
And I was just wanting to chat through the different sizes.
So who's bigger, first off?
Exactly.
I personally think Tingana is a bit bigger. but definitely neither of them are particularly huge leopards in my opinion.
Yes.
I've definitely seen much bigger leopards.
Yeah.
And in the Sabi Sands as well.
Yes, I certainly think that I have seen bigger leopards in both of them as well. As we said earlier, I don't know what you think of the age.
So 9 and 10, I think it is.
Okay.
As I said, it's difficult. Just looking at him, he looks a little bit older than 10 possibly, but maybe he's just had to fight really hard for his territory, so he's a bit more beaten up.
Okay. Anne in Oregon, thank you for your question. It's a good one. You'd like Brent to answer it, which I think is an excellent idea. She would like to know if you think that Tingana perhaps injured Mvula and was the cause of his eye troubles.
Hi, Anne. Thanks very much for that question. It's very difficult to say. It's very possible that injury is from a fight, but it could be also from mating. He could have got a swat from a lady. I think the most likely, in my opinion, and James, feel free to weigh in on this one, is he probably got that injury while hunting. It could have been a hoof, a kick, or horn. More likely than a fight. With a fight, you possibly would have seen some other scarring, bite marks even, where I didn't see that, but I wasn't the first to see, so I might have been wrong, but I think it's more than likely from hunting.
So what I think is important to note here is that, again, there's not a lot of injury to see other than the eye. I think maybe a thorn could have got
Also
in the
very
eye during a
possible.
hunt. I mean, remember how thick this bush is. And when, I mean, certainly for us, even if we're trying to move quickly through this bush, we tend to scratch ourselves to pieces. So if you're running at the speed of a leopard after something as fast as a steenbok, you can easily get injured. Could have been a fight. So we're going to move on slightly from the leopard discussion. Brent and I both feel that those two leopards are perhaps not as large as people think. And like I say, it's often a first reaction from people when they see a male cat to say, whoa, look how big he is. The last thing on that I wanted to just comment on was that I thought Mvula looked quite a lot older than 10. I may be quite wrong, but if any of the viewers can send us some information on that, that would be wonderful. If you've got some really accurate records of when he was born. Highlights of the week. My highlight of the week had nothing to do with me. It had everything to do with Andrew. He managed to catch and track a beautiful shot of a saddle-billed stork coming through the setting sun, wheeling round and coming through the setting sun again, and then landing next to Gowrie Waterhole. And we're going to have a look at that clip now. And obviously an extremely rare bird, the saddle-billed stork, that Andrew managed to get. And as you, we're most impressed with Andrew, of course. He was also deeply impressed with himself.
We haven't heard the end of it
No.
for a couple of days.
No, we haven't. And you'll just see the female stork coming in to land next to the male there as the clip rushes to an end.
It's nice to see them around. We've been seeing them quite often, Gowrie and at Twin Dam, so
Yeah.
it is nice to have them around.
Yeah, and it'll be the same pair. It'll be the same pair of storks. They nest in trees, if I'm not mistaken, in a fairly sort of untidy platform of sticks. It doesn't look nearly as comfortable as a...
Bit like my bedroom.
Yes,
very messy.
in fact,
yes.
very like his bedroom, which in fact is also my bedroom, unfortunately. So I'm a little bit like a sunbird living in a stork's nest.
But no, and other than that, it's been a really exciting week. We've had some new arrivals. We've known about them being born, but this is the first time we've seen those Styx cubs, and we've got a little short clip for you here that we've prepared of those cubs. And really, really fascinating to see them come finally from the south. I mean, we've known they've been there for a couple of months now.
Yeah, indeed. Just before we show you that clip, and we got Laura in Michigan with a great question
no problem.
on mothering, and it does lead into that clip, of course, which has to do with babies. And Laura would like to know: is there a noticeable difference between mothers of various animals and their ability to parent? So, are some animals naturally better mothers than others, or is the sort of standard of mothering generally the same? What would you say?
Well, I think for our long-time viewers and stuff, there's
now live.
from Gilly about the history of the Styx Pride. Gilly, well, I've only saw the Styx Pride a long time ago, a couple of times.
About that.
We're going to try not go anywhere
yes,
again.
Yes. I'm not. It's either gremlins or some people that need a good beating afterwards. We'll see afterwards. So back to the Styx Pride, Londolozi, Mala, south of here, other side of the Sand River.
Yep.
Where we used to see remnants. It wouldn't be the same animals because we haven't been there for a long time. But possibly some of the cubs of the Styx Pride that we used to see. I didn't see them very often. I wasn't guiding full time at the time.
I only saw them 3 or 4 times as well.
So, I mean, Styx Pride, these prides will change all the time. Obviously, a lioness's lifespan is seldom more than 10 or 12, and a lion, a male, sort of maybe 10 he's doing very well. And so when we started in the area, about 10 years ago?
Jeez, we are 10 years ago.
We are deeply aged now. It's very hurtful to us. So the pride makeup would have been very different. And certainly the 2 males that are dominating now, those 2 magnificent Matimba males, were but a twinkle in their father's eye, as it were.
Oh, yeah, the hyenas calling off in the distance. Nice. But
and a small question for you.
Oh, yes.
Ramon from the Netherlands. This is a good one. So Ramon in the Netherlands would like to know, the cubs are seemingly the size of a loaf of bread right now, and how much will they grow in the next 3 months?
Hi, Ramon. Thank you very much for your question. And they're going to grow a lot and very quickly in the next couple of months. I mean, at 6 months old, they're probably going to be standing about yay high. So they're probably going to more than quadruple in size in 6 months. They're going to go from little fluff balls to sort of mini versions of the adults and become a lot more aggressive and start behaving a lot more like lions.
And they'll also, I mean, so roughly the size of, would we say 3 months from now, they'll be the size of a really large, solid dog?
Like a Doberman, or
more solidly built than a
heavier.
Doberman. Sharper claws.
Bigger teeth.
Possibly sharper teeth, yes. Wouldn't fancy a Doberman's chance against a lion like that, actually.
Not even at 6 months.
No, not even at 6 months. And any other highlights of the week?
No,
for you?
The Cubs were definitely the biggest highlight. Oh, and of course this morning. It was great after not being live for so long. As we get going, we must have missed that kill by 5 or 6 minutes, but we still got to get some really great interaction and that growling. I mean, that noise sort of just permeates through your whole body. And that was really, really wonderful.
Okay.
For me.
Right, well, one of my highlights, of course, was the request from Donna in South Carolina, and there have been a whole lot of other requests from Lynn and various others on the Twitterverse. Donna, you asked me to do the Nyala's dance, a sort of pointed and slow meandering dressage test. And you would also like to see Brent do it, and in fact you would like to see us make as that we are 2 Nyala. Now, we are going to do this for you under sufferance, mainly because it's like a kudu doing it with a nyala, and that doesn't happen in the wild. I am, of course, the nyala, and Brent is the lanky kudu. So here we go. We're not going to do it for long. We're feeling quite embarrassed.
Yes, I'd even put scarf over my head.
Right, okay, here we go. Right, I will be in Nyala 1, and I will initiate. And so they go. You'll have to imagine us with
long white mans.
This is us fighting. I'm obviously much better at this than Brent is. Brent can't keep a straight face, you see. I am managing not to laugh at all. It's a very serious business, this. Right, I think that's enough of that. That's ridiculous. Yes.
There we go.
So you can all tell us how that went. We think we were incredible, of course. Andrew? Just a quick question, and then we're going to sing you a song. I've got Brent involved this week.
I know, I've under sufferance again.
Yes. Sharon in Pittsburgh, a musical question. Thank you for that. How, with all the dry heat, do I keep my guitar in tune? The answer, Sharon, I'm afraid, is that I have to keep tuning it and tuning it and tuning it. And then there's one for Brent here.
Oh, I'm scared now.
And Andrew, we've got a request from the Twitterverse that you gave me an 8.5. What do you give Brent?
7.5.
7.5. I'm the winner. Brent, you are the loser.
I hang my head in shame.
We are going to do a South African song here by a chap called David Kramer. The song is in Afrikaans, a language that is little known in the rest of the world. It developed from Dutch, and it's the song. I'll give you a little translation of some of the words. They're quite interesting. Brent has a very minor part in this, but it is the funniest part of the song, so watch him closely. Some of the words are "Nes 'n bicycle sonder sy klokkie," which means
A bicycle without its bell.
"Nes 'n lollipop sonder sy stokkie."
Like a lollipop without its stick.
En nes 'n hoenderhaan met sy kop afgekap.
Like a hen with her head chopped off.
Hardloop ek agter my bokkie.
I run after my young goat.
It's a love song, obviously.
Of course.
Now, the meisie sonder haar sokkies, the girl without her socks. David Kramer, Brent, don't forget your part. It's
I'll
simple,
try not
but
to.
very crucial. Here we go. Binne in my bokkie, klop my hart as 'n tokkie. Ek het droom van 'n warm Kersfeesdag en 'n meisie kan sonder haar sokkies. En net 'n bicycle sonder sy klokkie, 'n lollipop sonder sy stokkie. Dis 'n hoenderhaan met sy kop afgekap, hardloop ek agter my bokkie. Vaai, windjie vaai, die dag kom verby. En ora kom daar 'n groot geluk, daar staan sy, hoe daar staan sy hier langs my. Bokkie, ek vir nie vir jou jokkie. Op jy my lewe te jou kokkie. Ek het droom van jou voor die Sirenskerk en jou tot in jou mooi rooi rokkie. Bokkie met die bloeddoek op jou koppie. Die kloppie in my hart verloop my stoppie. Vanavond zorg ek soos 'n bombardier met die verlange hou nooit doppie. Vaai, windjie vaai, die dag kom verby. En môre kom daar 'n groot geluk, daar staan sy, hoe daar staan sy, hier langs my.
Bravo, James. Only James could succeed and make me look like a complete fool going,
I think you did remarkably well. You did miss a little bit of the
Yes,
second verse there, which is a bit sad.
I'll work on it. I'll have to practice.
We'll rehearse on that.
We'll definitely practice.
Yeah. Yes. We're just getting another rating on my dance. Okay. And this is from Rocky Fella, who gave me a very poor mark for my initial dance. Rocky Fella, you gave me 1 out of 10, but having seen me do it with Brent, you give us both a resounding 12 out of 10.
Well, thank you very much, Rocky. I really
bad.
appreciate it, yes.
Now, we have a few minutes left, and I just want to perhaps point out that all around here, so we sit around a fireside here, and we, sorry, hold on 1 second.
He's got something in his eye, he's getting a bit old. Glasses.
So while we are sitting around this beautiful little campfire, we are going to tell you a little bit of a story. It's not really a story so much as to say, and especially for the Dayton kids in Ohio. Why we sit around a campfire like this, we do it because we enjoy it, but for so many people in this area, just behind us where we're sitting, this is every night. A lot of people still cook on fires like this, so they don't have stoves in their homes, and they don't have gas, they don't have electricity, so they will gather wood like this and cook and sit around the fire. And in Africa it's an important thing, and I think in the rest of the world it certainly used to be, where sitting around a fire like this is an excellent way to sit and tell a story.
It is, and a lot of cultures have passed their whole history around a campfire. So grandmothers telling their grandchildren, or grandfathers telling their grandchildren, and how the history and folklores and stories were told were around a campfire.
Yeah, and I mean, certainly when we were kids growing up, sitting around a campfire was a fairly common occurrence.
We were quite lucky, yes.
And then growing up and coming to work in the bush, I mean, I came from the city, so there wasn't a lot of campfire going on there. And coming around to the bush, this is exactly how in all the lodges around this area, where people come and stay from all over the world, sitting around the campfire at the end of the day with your favorite snifter, which is a kind of a drink, if you like it, is the best way to sit and just enjoy the atmosphere of the night, and also to enjoy the remembrances of the day.
Yeah, and what's happened. It's a great way to, everyone will chat around the fire. Oh, did you see this? Did you see that? And great way for all the guests as well to socialize, yes, and whatnot. And Chance and James used to often play the guitar, yes, at these things when we worked together a few years ago. And jump over fires and do all sorts, yes, of other things.
Yes. No, I didn't do that too much. Brent did that.
Yeah.
He's got longer legs.
Clear over.
And so just as we finish, we've got sort of a minute and a bit left. I just want to describe some of the smells that we've got at the moment. It's obviously the campfire. There's the dry grass. Smell of winter dust. And what can you hear, Brent?
Crickets.
Crickets.
That's about all we can hear.
And the sound of the very gentle, lovely warm breeze that's blowing through and allowing me to sit here in my shirt sleeves, because I'm not very brave in the cold.
I think I can hear zebra, but very far away,
Zebra
right
very
in the
far
distance.
Away, and also some hyena that were calling a little bit earlier.
Ooh.
Yeah. So as we sit here, we have a minute left. We're going to thank you very much for the week. We had a great time.
We did.
We're going to thank you especially for being patient with our technical glitches that we've had.
Gremlins.
Rest assured that Eugene and Tara, who work behind the scenes, have been, they basically haven't slept for 7 nights, and so they're looking a little haggard, but we do seem to be back online, which is great news. And we'd just like to thank our 2 cameramen, odd as they may be, Phil and Andrew.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Brent.
Well, thank you, James. It's been wonderful.
Thank you, and for your continued mentorship as I learn the reserve here. Thank you to all of you for your questions, your comments. We love them. We appreciate them. Please keep them coming throughout the course of the next week. And we will see you on Monday morning, which for us feels like any other beautiful morning.
See you on the sunrise safari.
Sunrise.